Well, hello, everybody. My name is Kevin Ye, VP of Sales with Ignite Consulting Group, developers of the Hot Sauce countertop software.
And I'm Mackenzie, the marketing coordinator at Ignite.
We have a very special guest with us today, Alex Boris. A lot of people who are on social media within our industry know Alex. But Alex, if you don't mind, just give yourself an introduction and kind of share with us who you are and who you're with.
How you doing? I'm Alex Boris. I'm with Helix Professional Tools. We are out of Vernon Hills, Illinois, and I work out of our satellite office in Phoenix, Arizona. I have a background of the stone industry and just looking to help everybody, and I manage the social media pages for Helix as well.
So Alex, great to see you again. We actually met about three and a half years ago. You've obviously got a very good pulse on what's going on in our industry across the country. And one of the questions we always get is, what's new, right? So what is new coming out of Helix Tools these days?
Well, Helix is doing several things, Kevin. I thank you for that question. We have a new catalog coming out. Our website is going to be launched here very soon, which is huge for us. So then that way we can gain the online market a little bit better than what we have been able to. But we always have new products coming out. Right now, our main focus, I believe, is the porcelain market. As we're seeing from hand shops to CNC shops, automated shops, everybody's getting their hands into it. And so even coming out with a Brigio cut wheel, which is excellent for grinding porcelain, is something that we're bringing to the table. So then that way everybody has the proper tools for porcelain. And that, I think that's key to make it simple and to make that leap into the ultra compact material market. We were seeing large shops to small shops do that all. So, we just want to stay in the game and help everybody as much as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, I think you're absolutely right, is that porcelain today is what people thought quartz was 10 to 15 years ago. And yes. 10, maybe 5 to 10 years from now is what quartz will be today. I see that as well, right? Porcelain's becoming much more of a more popular material to fabricate. Whether you believe it or not, you should at least educate yourself about it. Try it out, and certainly Alex and Helix Tools are a company that can provide you with the tools to help fabricate porcelain.
That's it.
Now, Alex, as you've talked to fabricators around the country, what are you seeing in our market, right? There's COVID going on. There's states that are opening up. There's states that are kind of stagnant where they are. What's your pulse on our industry across the country?
I'll start in my own backyard, which is Arizona. And, what we're seeing here is that my local shops are busier than ever. Some have had record months. And then if I move to the East Coast, and some of my customers, just by my recollection, they're up and down. It's been a roller coaster for them. So some good months right at the tip of this when it began back in March. So they might have seen a nice finish. But towards the end of June, they've kind of slowed down and they're scrambling for business. So the single home market is still booming. It's expected to fall in late 2020, but then moving over to the West Coast is that they're busy as ever too. And so, it's really thrown a wrench in everybody's game, of course, that's the sad part of all this. But as far as I'm concerned, I see everybody going up and just moving as forward as possible. Small jobs, big jobs, maybe people will start doing those little vanities again, picking up smaller jobs just to create some cash flow.
Right. Alex, I hear very similar things to what you're saying. I get to talk to about a dozen fabricators a week, and everybody I've talked to is off their low point. Now it's how quickly and how do they get back to what normal volume was beforehand. So I hear very similar things as what you're saying.
Right.
So Alex, we know that you're really active on social media. We'd love to hear, when did you realize that this was an effective form of communication, and how often are you engaged on all those social media platforms and sites?
So I started about 5 years ago. Helix Tools is a guardian sponsor of the Stone Fabricators Alliance, and as I sifted through there and I started rereading as now a tool salesman and not a fabricator, I noticed that really people just seem to not sell anything on that forum. And it was actually at an SFA workshop that I got with two directors and found out that there was a Facebook page. With that Facebook page, I just ultimately Of course, they had a few requests of, one post a day, or, not to overload it. But I just saw it as a good way, because there was, we use social media platforms for everything, whether it's how your day went, how bad it went, the flat tire, to, your wife getting groceries, or, the kids' first steps. And so us as fabricators can utilize that, and have been utilizing that for years. We just didn't have a general place to go. And so I started sending out requests and friend request after friend request, and inviting more people to the SFA page. And it's grown to 9,800 members. Not all my doing, of course, but social media has a big presence in our industry. I think it's underused even still today. And to answer your question of how much time I spend, I really don't want to admit that, but I'm always accessible. I'm always trying to answer questions that I may or may not know, and be able to help somebody along the way, or guide them to the right person that knows the right answer, or can offer them the advice that they need.
Right. I'm in charge of our social media, so I'm also very active on those sites, and I don't like to talk about how often I am on them, but I am. And I'm curious to know what you would say for people who are engaged on social media. What are the do's and the don'ts?
Good question. So, I'll just lightly touch on a couple of topics. Do's are always engage with your audience. Building a friendly presence, no matter if the job, or doesn't look up to your standard. I'm staying industry related, of course. If it doesn't look up to your standard, still give them an attaboy, and right. Say good job. Building that relationship is the number one thing of a salesman, and I am a salesman. Some don'ts are, put your own opinion out there. And I think that's something that a lot of us might even struggle with, of, typing out and then erasing. Another thing is it's okay to write a crappy post, whether it's a sentence long, or you turn it into a paragraph, and vice versa. I think those crappy posts are learning tools, and how you engage. And it's not always based on the likes. I'd never base my post on likes or views. Engagement to me is simply, if one person can like my post, then that's somebody new I can engage with, or I can build the relationship off of. And I think the most part of all is, like I said, is building a relationship is definitely the biggest part.
Yeah, that's great advice, Alex. Like you said, once it's posted, it's on there forever. So I like your advice about being careful what you do and engaging in the right manner.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Alex, I want to thank you for joining us today, for sharing the news that's going on at Helix Tools. I really think it was important that you brought up porcelain, which I agree with you. And again, like Alex said, if you're not exploring it today, if you're not already fabricating with it today, you might be a little bit behind the curve. So at least take Alex's advice, invest in the right tools, and give it a shot, right? Try it out, and certainly get a hold of Alex. He can hook you up with the right tools and the right processes and the right advice to take that first step into porcelain. If you want to get a hold of Alex, he's very prominent on our social media sites within the industry, so you should have no problem finding him that way. Or you can reach out to Alex by emailing him at aboris@helixtools.net. Alex, thanks again for joining us. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you at the next industry association whenever they have that.
Yes, Kevin, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.